South Africa is in the midst of one of its worst droughts since 1992, with dams running at historical lows and large swaths of agricultural lands left totally bone dry. Below average rainfall has caused a crisis in the agricultural industry, and the government now wants farmers to begin to sell their cattle in order to alleviate the pressure on scorched grazing lands.
The big challenge that they're facing now is that they're not going to have fodder to take their animals through till the next raining season. So what is the first thing you've got to do is you've first got to look at the genetic pool that you're managing. What is the crisis parts of the genetic pool that you've got to bank and see that you keep them alive? That's the first thing. The second thing that you've got to do is you must get your animals as quick as possible up to a market standard that you can send them to the abattoirs to get slaughtered.
The poor rainfall is also forcing maize farmers to reduce the 2016 season plantings to the smallest since 2011. 18 months of dryness has taken a major toll. Hidden milk farms in both livestock and grain. He's among many in the industry who make use of $8 billion in credit extensions by the country's big banks. He believes ridding himself of his livestock should be the last option.
I know from the grain side there's going to be lots of depth which is not going to be covered because of the drought we had. So maybe it's an option for the farmers to sell all the cattle, but in my case I won't do that, and I don't think that all the farmers, because what's going to happen next year, where's the cash flow is going to come from? Is government going to give us money to buy the cattle again? So that is how farming works. It works in cycles of a year each, and I don't think it's a good option to sell cattle.
He's been ploughing his field in preparation of harvesting his grain and creating grazing lands for his livestock. This field, while large, will only last his cattle just 1 month.
We are in a poor water area. This year we only had a third of the rain we normally have in the winter time, which starts in April and ends in September. We only had a third, 130 millimeters of 330 millimeters average, and that puts all the farmers with cattle under pressure. There's enough water, but the problem is with the grazing. That's where the problem comes in.
For now, though, the whole industry seems to be praying for a late burst of unusual rainfall. But for those already grappling under the immense effects of the drought, it may be too little, too late. Even though most farmers are loath to sell their livestock, the pressures of the drought may force their hand, and that could lead to an excess of meat on the market and a drop in prices, which could lead to a further loss of income. Travers Andrews, CCTV, Hopefield.